Well, hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to continue the review series of the 2024 products, and I'm happy and excited to share with you the Disney World Haunted Mansion and all the accessories that are accompanying it this year from the lineup in Department 56. This is a spectacular piece. It is worthy of purchase. It is spendy. We will talk about that. We will also talk about all three accessories, which are incredibly cool. And the cool part is if you find a platinum retailer, this is one that you can get that is available only as a numbered piece of 560 pieces. I happen to get one of those at my platinum retailer, which is Millie's Hallmark in Ahwatukee, Arizona. My favorite Hallmark place in the world. It's where I teach classes on how to build platforms and things like that. And I was able to get number 254 of 560 pieces. So I'll show you all of that. Very excited about this piece. Have no earthly idea how I'm going to display this. I love my Disneyland Haunted Mansion display. I now am going to incorporate some sort of a Disney World Haunted Mansion display coming up at a later time. So with that, let's jump off the tripod and start taking a look at all of these incredibly cool Disney World pieces from Department 56. Okay, we're going to start as always by looking at the box. And here you can see that this is a different style box. It's got the Haunted Mansion's kind of the wallpaper look all over the black. The box lid sort of raises up like this, which is pretty cool. It makes it certainly a lot easier to get in and out of. And then you can see that the same stuff is on pretty much all the boxes. It's a hand-painted piece, the Haunted Mansion. It's a first edition piece, which is amazing. It's limited to 560 pieces. Again, I got 254, hand numbered. First edition bottom stamp, giftable packaging, and so on. And then here you can see the biggest, probably the biggest thing of all, it is a resin building. And so instead of the ceramic, it is resin. Okay, so there's goodness and badness in that. However, let's take a look at the house and see what you think. Now, before we start looking at the house, I do want to flip it around to the back and show you the rest of the box. So there's the Haunted Mansion on this side, the logo. You can see the Haunted Mansion front and back here. You can see the three accessories that coordinate with it. You've got Silas and his dog, you've got Madame Leota, and then you've got the bride there, Constance Hatchaway. And so here is the somewhat of the frustrating detail for a lot of us this year. This is the suggested retail price on this is $325. I know it's a lot of money. I get that. I totally understand that. However, again, we all spend our money on things that we enjoy, and this to me is a must-have for Disney fans and for Halloween fans. So with that, let's jump off and take a look at this. Now, I did replace the LED, or the light that came with it, an old style light, for a white LED, and I just get a box of white LED lights. As a matter of fact, let me show you that. I know we're reviewing a house, but this is the box. This has come from Amazon, so if you can kind of look that up right there. There's C7 bulbs, E12 base socket, and then I just get a whole bunch of them, and I replace them as I get new homes and new houses. And so this is what the little lights look like. So that's what I do, and that's what's in this right now, and I think it provides a great light. So I absolutely love the detail on this building. It is second to none. It really is. It blows the Disneyland Haunted Mansion away in terms of quality, paint, it's remarkably well done. The paint is pristine. You've got the, oh, and I forgot the little turret. It does come with a little turret in a bag, a little weather vane. You can kind of see on the top there. Trust me, it's there. I just forgot to put it on. It's not that big of a deal to put on, but it goes right, it just kind of snaps right in the top of this area here, as you can see there, and it sits right down in there. Sorry about that, but look at the paint while we're up here. Look at the paint on this. It looks like a bronze, copper, faded, weathered, just an amazing paint job on this whole building. And it's resin. And so some people have been complaining that there is some bleed through. And you can see a little bleed through right here and right here and right here, especially where the seams are. There's a bigger area right in there that did not get too much paint, but you can kind of see the bleed through in some of those areas. However, it adds a pretty decent effect to it at night, really. And so the atrium is just so well done. You can put a white light in here, you could put a green light, you could put a purple light, you could put an orange light. Your options are limited with the way this thing would light up. I just put white in for now just to see how it looks, but the front gate looks great. Everything on this building looks good. So how does it look from the side? Well, you've got these spider webs that are kind of plastered on there, and those seem like they're sort of a plastic or maybe even a metal. I'm gonna move some of these trees out of our way. But the whole facade looks good. All around the atrium, the back of the mansion looks just as good as the front of the mansion. A lot of little ornate details, the fall leaves. It's just really, really, really well done and well painted piece this year. This is a must-have if you're a Disney fan. You can kind of see the light bulb in there that I've put in there if you look real hard, but the windows are obviously transparent enough to allow this stuff to shine through. And then the rest of the back of the mansion, you can see here, looks great. Now, what I do want to try to do real quick, and I'm just going to step back for a second and see if I can turn the lights off and see if we can see any sort of bleed through. And the only area where I see bleed through is where you're seeing bleed through right here on the camera, on the film, is right in the front. Not crazy about it, but it's not too bad. And you can see a little bit of bleed through on the side, a little bit of bleed through right about where all the corners and pieces are, a little bit of bleed through on the back, but quite honestly, in a dark room, this will help to illuminate the house a little bit more than it would by just sitting there. And it doesn't really detract from it too much, I think. I'm still very, very pleased with this purchase. So let's get the lights in the kitchen back on and come back in and take a better detailed look. The roof of the house, the mansion, is just, I mean, they've blown me away, quite honestly, this year with the paint quality on the two pieces so far that I've seen. Very, very, very pleased with the way they look. So that is the house. That's what you're gonna get for $325. Yes, it is expensive. I get it, totally get it, but it's a remarkable piece to have in your collection. Okay, then, as I always recommend, we need to accessorize this. And the first piece we're gonna talk about is Silas Crump and his dog Bones, okay? So he is a resin piece, okay? Still Haunted Mansion stuff on the back and the side. Little bit of product details on the top as far as the battery switch on and off. And he's gonna run you a total of $65 if you are gonna buy him from at retail, okay? And then how does he look? He looks amazing, okay? So he is if you've ever been to the Haunted Mansion, and I assume most have, at least somewhere, he's the guy that's kind of at the bottom of as you come out of Constance Hatchaway's attic, where she's got the portraits of all of her previous husbands and she's lopped their heads off. You kind of come down backwards out of the ride, down in through the woods and the forest, and right before you enter the graveyard You've got Silas, who's basically a grave digger, who is scared to death because he's got his lantern lit up and he's kind of seeing ghosts all around him, and his dog Bones is very malnourished, poor guy, and he is shaking uncontrollably because he's scared of the ghost. And so look at the paint and the details on Silas's face and his hands and his jacket and the pants, the dog. I mean, this is so well done. The lantern, I mean, you can kind of see the lights coming out of the wrist, but not really. And the lantern lights up just spectacular. The detail on the rest of the piece is just as detailed on the sides and on the back. And I'm trying to do all this one hand. You can see the ribs and the dog just like you can in the ride. I mean, he's detailed all the way around. And then he's got a little cord that obviously comes out of the back. And you can plug that into a battery box that comes with it. It takes 2C batteries, or I use the adapters that allow me to run 3 of these on the same plug, and so I don't use the batteries. And so that's Silas Crump and his dog Bones, a very well done piece. Then let's talk about another piece that does not light up. This is Madame Leota. And I was a little, I was like, okay, why would I want this? I mean, Madame Leota is probably the most famous icon in the Haunted Mansion, right? And it's a very cool piece. As a matter of fact, it's the coolest Madame Leota piece I've ever seen in terms of Disney. It's that good. The problem is it doesn't light up. It just kind of sits there. It's static. Doesn't take away from it at all. It's absolutely beautiful and stunning what you're about to see, but it doesn't light up, and it's fairly large, and so placing it around somewhere is going to be the challenge. Potentially. We'll figure it out, but that's what we got to work with. If you want Madame Leota to accompany this, it's going to cost you $38.50, which I'll be honest with you is not a bad deal when you see the quality of this. Let me keep the box here and just put Madame Leota on top. Now, I don't know if you can see the detail that I can see, but she is inside of this almost this so crystal clear marble that it is the most convincing Madame Leota I've ever seen, quite honestly. Look at the paint job on the tablecloth. You've got the red velvety look, you've got the gold and the purple, you've got the tassels hanging off the side, you've got the table, which is sort of matte and shiny. And then you've got the resin base that is just incredibly well painted and detailed. I mean, it's just an extraordinary piece. And so very glad that I picked it up. Don't know exactly how I'm going to display it, but this is a piece, after you see it in person, you're just like, wow. That is the clearest crystal ball with Madame Leota in it that I've ever seen. So props to Department 56 and props to Disney for licensing this. It's just spectacularly done this year. So very happy with this, okay? So that is the second accessory that sort of accompanies the Haunted Mansion. Now the good part is about this, either Silas, Madame Leota, or the next one, it's called Here Comes the Bride. Again, it's Constance Hatchaway is her real name. These could go with either the Disney World Haunted Mansion or the Disneyland Haunted Mansion. And if you've got 2 displays, you may want to pick up 2 of them if you're going to display them simultaneously. But she is also a lighted piece, very well done, as you're getting ready to see. And she would set you back $48 even if you pick her up at a retail price. Now, what does she look like? Well, first of all, she's got this blue, clear, ghostly look, and the camera is just not doing it detail to pick it up. That's a little bit better. you can sort of see the ghostly apparition there with the light kind of glowing all the way up to the top. Spectacular looking piece. She obviously has her iconic hatchet and a big old diamond on her hand for a ring. That doesn't do it justice either. I mean, you can kind of see it, but it absolutely sparkles and shines. It is incredibly well done. She is crazy cool looking, quite honestly. This is a spectacular piece, incredibly well done. I like the bigger light down at the bottom, the more bright light down at the bottom, and then it fades as you get closer. And by zooming out like this, you trust me when I tell you, it's just the camera. When you see it in person, it looks so much better. And actually zooming in helps to create that great look. So just a very well done piece for Constance Hatchaway, or Here Comes the Bride as it's labeled this year. Again, a resin piece, not a lot of words or anything on the bottom of this. And you can see in the back here, her veil. I mean, you can still see the light shining through. Everything is just incredibly well done. And so just very pleased with the way the Disney stuff has turned out this year. And so you can sort of see all three of the accessories right there and how cool they all look. So for Disney fans, man, they've hit a home run in my opinion this year. Yeah, it's going to set you back quite a bit of money, but if you're a Disney fan and you're going to spend your money on something like this anyway, I don't think you can go wrong with this. This is going to be a great addition to anyone's collection for Halloween. And if you're a Disney fan, you could display this all year round, however you see fit with doing that. So there you have it. There's a much more a close-in look at the Haunted Mansion and the three accessories this year. And then if you're lucky enough to get a first edition at a Platinum Hallmark store, I'll just kind of flip this over to the side here. You can see the key on the bottom, and then 254 or 560 kind of numbered on the bottom. It's a fairly heavy piece. I'm trying to do this one-handed without snapping something off of my Haunted Mansion, which I'd be devastated. So there you have it. There's a closer look at this this year's Disney's Haunted Mansion release for Department 56. Well, hopefully you've enjoyed that much closer view of the 2024 Department 56 Haunted Mansion Disney World Edition, along with Silas, Crump, and his dog Bones, with Here Comes the Bride, and with Madame Leota. All three accessories that accompany this Haunted Mansion for Disney World this year. They've knocked it out of the park, literally, I think, for this. So if you're a Disney fan, if you're a Haunted Mansion fan, I think you're going to want to save and kind of budget for this, because you cannot go wrong with having these 4 pieces, honestly, inside your collection. I can't wait to see what I come up with to display all these. I already know that Here Comes the Bride and Silas Crump are going to go fit in somehow into my Disneyland Haunted Mansion display. I'll incorporate those in some way, shape, or form into that display, which will be absolutely crazy crowded this year, as you would imagine. But again, then I'm going to work in some way to create a queue line and a facade that will accompany then the Disney World Haunted Mansion. It's much simpler to do Disneyland. It's straightforward and laid out. There's a lot of real estate with the Disney World ones. We'll have to figure that out. That's coming later. But anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this closer look at these wonderful pieces from Department 56 this year. If you've enjoyed this video, if it gives you a better idea of what you're going to be getting, then please give me a thumbs up, like the video. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please consider doing so. It helps me out personally, helps the channel to grow. And I buy all these with my own money. Nobody sponsors anything really on this channel. So your thumbs up and your subscription certainly helps me to stay motivated enough to keep these videos coming out. So do me a favor and help me out, at least in that regard. So we're going to continue this review series until we're done with all the pieces that I bought for 2024. So with that, take care of yourselves. We'll talk to you again real soon.